Good evening, OG. Yes, give it a couple more minutes. The group is still filtering in. A little bit of a late notice one, but there's I listened to today. There's a few major announcements. A few you've probably seen on the group already. What's going on in terms of Steve Martin coming over here on the 13th to the 15th of February. So that's big for the group. Big credit. It was very, very credible for us. And also what I like and what I'm going to share today is just how wherever Steve's gone in terms of building markets, which we want, take this to the next level, he's always succeeded. Like we said, he's built it in Costa Rica, he's built it in Asian countries, in his own country of Canada. And all I can say is that every major decision that I've ever made in terms of my business always took place at a large event. And this is our first ever large event. So for me, that's giving us enough time now to really kick back on. Okay, I've seen it in the group saying we're going to smash this and do this, but right now what we need to happen is for the action, the work ethic, to go and do that. Okay, words don't mean anything unless we put them into action. And what we're going to play tonight is we're going to go through a replayed Millionaire Mentorship call, which has really resonated in me. It's by one of my favorite guys in Organo Gold. And one thing that I recommend is, I know our group's massive on personal development and learning the skills and reading and putting audio on there and video, etc. But the key is to then go out and apply it. And the money which we want, the business which we want to build, will only come when we go out there and apply the knowledge that we learn. So one tip that I got taught early on in my career is, for example, we'll listen to this 50-minute of audio tonight, this call that we're going to listen to, and you're going to take pages of notes. Always take notes, but from those notes, you're going to condense them down to 3 major action points. That's what I always do. And out of those 3 points, I will then apply them to the week. Okay, this is going to be a weekly call that we do. Okay, we're going to start getting the movers and the shakers to share their stories. But what we need now is people to step up. This is the 6-figure mentorship call, and we sometimes replay the millionaire mentorship call. But this is for the people who want to go out there seriously and build this thing. Okay, we can be straight talking. We can really be honest with one another of what we need to do. As we've said, the motivation's there, the determination's there, the charisma and the group's there. It's just right now, it's just putting that into action. And the word that I always use is consistency. And if that consistency comes, the volume will come for everybody, trust me. So I'm going to get this playing now. Take plenty of notes. Let's make sure in the group after we discuss it, we talk about it, and let everyone know what we're going on about. So I'm going to play this thing. I'm going to kick this thing off.
Here with the call here today, and I tell you, I actually have some dynamic leadership that's on the line that's going to help me out tonight as well. So I'm very excited about the call. I tell you, the energy on this line is absolutely electric. We're excited to have a great call here today. Make sure that you actually go ahead and make your last minute text messages to your team members to definitely make sure they get plugged into the line. We're excited, guys. This is the last call of 2014. The last call of 2014. I tell you, so many incredible things are in store for 2015. And this call is going to talk about how the next 30 days could be the difference between an epic 2015 and just an average 2015. This is the opportunity. This call is going to be the call that's going to help you to actually have a quantum leap year in 2015, guys. I tell you, we have some incredible leadership that'll be helping out on the call here today. Excited about that. And many of you know, guys, we have a major event that's coming up in February. That is going to be a leveraging point for those who are on the line to make sure that you have a quantum leap year in 2015. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about getting your year off to a very strong start, guys. And that starts with closing out the year with a backbone. Closing out 2014, closing out December, making sure that you exercise that muscle, that you make sure the last few days of the month that you don't just be lax, that you don't lose this opportunity to close out the year with a backbone, and making sure that you actually go into 2015 with a running start. The average person, guys, they go into the new year, they make these New Year resolutions, and they start on January 1st. But the extraordinary person, they get a running start. Some of you have already been go ahead and finish the month very, very strong, guys, and we're excited about that. And many of you have the details, obviously, for the major event. For those who may not have details of the major event, if maybe you don't even know the magnitude of what's going to happen in February 6th to the 8th. Some of you may just be hearing it for the very first time, and I pray that each and every one of you get the message tonight of how powerful the major events are and how powerful this event that's coming up is going to be. But I do want to talk about, guys, obviously we're closing out the year, and I've just been really reflecting on Organo Gold and what it's meant for me. Just being thankful and grateful for all the relationships and the people I've had the opportunity to meet. Thankful and grateful for the leadership. Thankful and grateful for the success that we've been able to have, the ups and the downs, the learning process that we've actually had over the last 4 years. I tell you guys, I've become a totally different person as far as the growth and the leadership that we have an opportunity to follow. And many people, guys, I know are on this call. Just a couple weeks ago, it was actually we had a major event in Philadelphia. We had Mr. Holton Buggs come to Philadelphia. 2,000 plus people in the room. We had leaders, 26 plus diamonds that travel from all across the country and around the world to be in the room. And I tell you what, guys, the reason why Organo Gold is having the type of success, the reason why Organo Gold has broken records all around the world is because of the leadership of this company. Started with Mr. Bernard Chua, Mr. Shane Moran, and Mr. Holton Buggs. And I tell you guys, everything rises and falls on leadership. And the reason why so many companies are finding themselves in situations where people are scrambling for leadership. They're scrambling for training because the reality is there's something called the leadership lid. Mr. John C. Maxwell, in his book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, talks about the leadership lid. And he said, a leader, a number 4 leader on a scale from 1 to 10, if you're a 4 leader, you cannot lead a 5 or 6. If you're a 6 leader, you can't lead a 7 or 8. And I tell you what, guys, there's no such thing as perfect leadership. But I tell you what, our leadership is exceptional. And that's why they're leaders of leaders. They're attracting people from all across the country and around the world. They're duplicating throughout this organization. And we have people, guys, that we're going to have on the call here today to help us out to really talk about what it means to be at Project 50K. What is it going to mean for you for your 2015 to be at Project 50K? It's one thing to be there yourself, and each and every one of you on the sound of my voice, I hope that you make a decision to be at Project 50K. I tell you, it was actually my beginning career in this industry when I was at a point where I had to make a decision of whether I was going to pay some bills of things that was really creeping up on me for many months. I had late notices and evictions and all kinds of things and foreclosures that were going on. And at that time, I had to make a decision: either I was going to continue to look at my past or start to manifest my future. And I tell you what, guys, it was the best decision I made when I expanded my mind going to a major event. And my mind was expanded. Once your mind's expanded, it'll never go back to its original shape or form. I always tell people, listen, you can run out of money, but you can't run out of time. The reality is, guys, now is the time to make a decision and make it the right decision. To be at Project 50K. We'll share some announcements behind it as well. But I want to actually have some of the leadership that's on the line here today. When I thought about this call, I said, how do we close this call out strong? How can I close out this strong call? Close out this call in this year, this call very strong. And it reminds me of the little boy he's pulling his wagon up the hill. He's with his father. And his father sees him getting fatigued. He's pulling his wagon. He has his toys in his wagon. He's pulling the wagon. And his father says, son, use all your strength. And his son he's pulling the wagon, and he's starting to slow down. And his father sees him slowing down and says, son, use all your strength. And he's pulling. He wants to make his father proud, and he's pulling, and he slows down again. His father says, son, use all your strength. And he pulls it, and eventually comes to a standstill. And one more time, his father says, son, use all of your strength. And he says, Dad, I am using all my strength. I can't pull it anymore. And his father says, son, you're not using all your strength because you haven't asked me to help you. And I tell you what, guys, I've asked some people to help me on this call here today to really drive home the importance of a major event in February, guys. What is it going to mean to you and to your business? And I want you to be prepared, guys, to write down the details of Project50K.com and some of the details that I want to announce here today. But I want to bring on some of our top leaders. I won't have a chance to really delve into their background and edify them on the level that they deserve, guys. But the people that I have on the line here today, I tell you, they're top of the top leadership in our company. Are Diamond Plus. So that obviously means their business is doing over $200,000 per month in coffee revenue. Many of the folks that I have on the line here today actually have diamonds within their organization. So they're as much as up to $1 million a month in coffee flowing through some of these individuals' organization guys as blue diamonds as well. So I'm going to bring on some of the elite leadership, people who are living a number one lifestyle, who's going to have a chance to really share with you tonight the importance of being at a major event. And I'm going to start off with my friend that's out of the Colorado marketplace. I say we call them the first family of Organo Gold, and just really tearing the cover off the ball, making things happen all across the country and around the world. I'm going to ask Miss Deanna Nilsson to join us on the line here today. If you wouldn't mind, Miss Deanna Nilsson, if you wouldn't mind sharing just the power of the major event, what it means to you and why people need to be there as well.
Awesome. Can you hear me, Sewell?
I hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. I'm going to get right to the point. Sewell, I hear a lot of people when we talk about the importance of the event, and I hear people say, oh, man, I don't need that hype. I don't need all that hype. You know what? I went to one. That's just mind-blowing to me, because for the people out there that's been to church before, if you've been to church once in your life, was that enough? Was that enough to nourish your spirit? For those who are into physical health, to work out, did you go to the gym once and say, oh man, I'm good, man, I got this. Woo, I got my six-pack. For those of you who are nourishing your body as well with eating right, did you eat breakfast, just breakfast, and you don't plan to eat lunch or dinner or anything else because once was enough? Guys, I'm here to tell you that the major events are everything for your business, and your business is for your mind. You have to nourish your mind, because everyone wants to be productive and everyone wants to be valued. You need to be at Project 50,000 if you really want what you say you want out of life. Without going to the major events, we would have never been Blue Diamond Going Black. The growth that we have experienced all have happened at the major events. The major decisions that have been made in our organization have happened at the major event. Sewell, with all my heart, I don't believe that you can stress enough to someone else the importance of being at the major events. They're not just important. They are everything. You need to nourish your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit. And I'm telling you, if you want 2015 to be your year, you must be in Vegas, the 6th, 7th, and 8th at Project 50,000. Thank you, Sewell, for having me on the line this evening.
Absolutely, Deanna. Thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing those powerful words. And we're going to keep it moving, guys. We're going to go out to Houston, Texas, where my friend, and I tell you, this gentleman, we call him the people's champ, because I tell you, he understands and put people before profit, and it's been very instrumental in me understanding the power of a major event when we got started in Organo Gold. None other than Mr. Sam Bean. Mr. Bean, are you there, sir?
I'm here, Mr. Rockman. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Well, just like Deanna said, I'm going to jump right into it so I can turn it back over to you. But as you may well know, we didn't have a lot of experience in this industry. We came straight from the real estate industry to this industry, and not having a lot of experience, we found that we figured that we were behind. But when you put yourself in the seats and you listen to people like the VP of Sales, Mr. Holton Buggs, Mr. Shane Moran, the Global Master Distributor, and you see how they've laid this system out, and you see how you get to leverage, all of the stories and all of the resources that the company's provided for you, it quickly becomes a position where you've actually now become a beneficiary of the company's assets, the resources. You become a person who's been able to bridge the gap from having no experience or inexperience to a person who doesn't really need it at this time, because now you got the lead of the company training your people. It's like the underdog's equalizer. You get a chance to listen to the likes of Crown Ambassadors, Jose Adon, John Sotiris, and crowns like David Emanite and Luis Ventura. You have a host of other 6- and 7-figure ring earners that are there. And when you're there and you have your people there, when you leave that event, it's really nothing that can stop you. You're inspired, motivated, and you're not just getting the know-hows, but you're getting that spiritual, healing. You get fed on a lot of different levels. And so, if you're not there in the event, you're not on purpose. Buy as many tickets as you can, get with your upline, and get some coaching. But when you can't buy any more tickets, I have a philosophy: buy some more. Okay, I'm recruiting to promote right now. Everybody I am recruiting, I'm making sure that they understand where they need to be, and we'll go from there. But I'm jacked out of my mind. Can't wait to see you guys there, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Rucker.
Awesome, Mr. Beam. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. And we're going to go out to Florida, where we have none other, one of our newest diamond consultants, and a powerful couple. We had a chance to see them get knighted just recently. None other than Miss Marlene Stotts. Miss Stotts, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Guys, I'm telling you, I am so excited about Project 50K, the ultimate training experience in Las Vegas, Nevada, February 6th through 8th, guys. Let me tell you why you need to be in Las Vegas. When I partnered with Organo Gold 3 years ago, I told my husband I would partner with this business under one condition. I was never attending another meeting, event, or convention. And that I said I wasn't going to a single meeting. But guys, the same month I joined this business, I was either coerced or convinced to go to our first Project 50K. And when I got there, guys, the information that I got at that training changed my life. I saw Mr. Bass Grant took the stage. I got to meet our leadership in the Mr. David Imanite. And guys, we came back home with 3 days left in the month and went Sapphire in 3 days. So I'm telling you, I am all for events, even though I was anti-events when I started this business. Guys, we returned to Florida. When we went to that event, we had one other person went with Mike and I. One other person went with Mike and I. And we came back and did Sapphire in 3 days. How much more it will be if you take 10, 20, 25, 50, 100 people to Project 50K in Las Vegas, Nevada, guys. I'm telling you again, I've seen it time and time again. The month we achieved the status of Diamond Consultant, that month we had another P50K on the same weekend, ironically from the 6th to the 8th in March. Guys, we took 100 people to that event, and because of the event and the momentum we had for the last 3 weeks, we went diamond. Guys, P50K, the ultimate training experience, is on the first week of the month. Guys, you get there, you bring a team with you. We always say, if you come alone you will learn a lot. But if you come with a team, you'll learn a lot. I'm telling you, get online right now, get your gold tickets, silver tickets, get a bronze ticket if you have to. But bottom line, be there. You cannot afford to miss our next training experience in Las Vegas, Nevada. So see you there. Back to you, Mr. Rahman.
Awesome, Mrs. Stotts. Thank you so much for sharing. And Mrs. Stotts shared a magic number that we understood and learned, early in our business as well, guys. That number of 100 people to a major event. And some of you may not be at that point right now where maybe you can get 10 people there. Imagine 10 people at that event that can come back and testify about their experience, and they each get 10 people to the next event, guys. That sets you up for 2015 to be able to make sure that you, by the end of the year, before the end of the year, that you are a diamond consultant living a #1 lifestyle, guys. Is it worth it to you? The question is, it's not whether it's going to be easy or not. The question is it worth it? Is it worth it to, one, make sure that you're there? And I tell you what, guys, you said when you actually make that decision to be there, you've already set Providence in motion. You've already set Providence in motion by making sure you get your flight, you get your ticket, and then you help others do the same exact thing. I'm going to bring on another gentleman, guys, out of Houston, Texas. Just a very powerful individual, has a team, not only nationally, but internationally, traveling the world to build his organization. None other than Mr. Jared Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins, are you there, sir?
Absolutely, Mr. Rockmine. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, my friend.
Well, as I'm sitting here listening to all of the other diamonds and blue diamonds that have spoken, it just really resonates exactly and precisely what they've said and what you've shared about Project 50,000. Myself, being involved in this profession for the last decade now, I've dedicated my entire 20s to it, and I'm not 31, but I can tell you this. The event that did it for me, and I tell people all the time, I don't beg, I don't convince, I don't put people in a chokehold or a headlock to get involved in Organo Gold into this business, because I know what a blessing it is for people that really sink their teeth into it. But what I do, and what all of these leaders do, is we go above and beyond to promote and to edify these events, because we know this is where the the magic happens. You know, Sam Bean talks about this is the underdog equalizer. You heard Mrs. Deanna Nielsen talk about, you know, yeah, you can come get the rah-rah here, and the importance of really diminishing that belief system about, oh, I don't need the rah-rah. And I will tell you this, when I got started, when myself and my business partner got started in Organo Gold, the first major event we attended was Project 50,000. I'll never forget it. It was in September 2010. And here's what the defining moment in my career had been. It had been doing just enough to get by. It had been trying to lean on my talent alone. It had been doing enough to just kind of get along and go by. But when I got to that event, it wasn't necessarily what was said, Mr. Rahman, because, yes, you heard Miss Marlene say that if you come alone, you will learn a lot. If you bring a team, you will earn a lot. But if you bring your spirit to be recharged, if you bring your spirit to be renewed, if you bring your entire man, your entire woman to this event, this environment, I believe that you'll be introduced to your real self. And that's what people feel when we talk to them. It's not the words that we're saying. It's the spirit that carries, or it's the spirit of the container that carries the words in that word in which we speak. And so when we were there, Mr. Rahman, this is what I tell people all over the world. I don't care where you are in this business, whether you've got one person in the business, whether you've got 1,000 or hundreds of thousands, all of the top leaders, this is where we'll be. Project 50,000, when I was there in September 2010, we were there, and I had never felt such emotion of tears and just being able to challenge myself, being able to, as you talked about John C. Maxwell's book, removing the lid or expanding my lid of what was not only possible, but what was probable. And that's what people learn at the event. They get around people that allow them to demystify success. They get around people that speak life into them. They get around individuals that have it worse than what they have it financially, you know, emotionally, not having a supportive a spouse or whatever it is. When you get to these events, and it's not just about the rah-rah, but I can tell you this, I've never seen a champion, anybody going at a high level on any team, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's soccer, but especially basketball. You'll see LeBron James, you'll see Kobe Bryant, you'll see many of those leaders. You'll see them when it's crunch time, when it's game time, when everything is on the line. You'll see them waving at the people that are on the sidelines, waving at all the fans, all the people that are on their team, waving them, encouraging them to cheer on, talk about defense, talk about whatever to give them that extra boost. That's what rah-rah does. It gives you that extra spiritual boost that allows you to convey a message, that allows you to touch people, not in their heads, but in their hearts. That's Project 50,000. That's the ultimate training experience. Mr. Rahman, I'll turn the call back over to you.
All right, Jared, got me fired up, brother. I appreciate you sharing on the line as well. Very, very powerful. And last but not least, guys, I want to bring on a gentleman who had the audacity, even though I was busy, even though I had a lot going on, he had the audacity to edify and promote an event. And my whole objective was to give him an educated no. But he had the audacity, even during an Easter weekend, there was an event going on, had me travel 2,000 miles to an event just to basically say no to him. But he was so excited about it. As a friend, I agreed to take a look at it. And I tell you what, guys, that one act was able to shift, you know, our future as a result of us deciding to go and take a look and give him an educated no. And now became a yes. Diamond Consultant recently knighted and building an awesome organization, guys. None other than Mr. Jeremy Roma. Mr. Roma, you're on the line, sir.
Absolutely, sir. We're in this for the world, man. And I remember that trip to Houston, man. In fact, I remember as it relates to the upcoming event, you know, we were sitting together, a group of us in Edwin Haynes' living room. And I remember Mr. Haynes coming up and saying, "Hey, Roma, you're chill, man. You're laid back and chill tonight." And I said, "Sir," I said, "Coach," call him Coach. I said, "Coach, I've done my job, man. I got him here." And I know the power of promoting an event, getting people in front of something bigger than us is really a profound experience. One of the things that Mr. Buds talks about all the time is that he says, I haven't changed anybody's life. You know, people say, "Family, you've changed so many lives." He said, "I've not changed anybody's lives. You know, what I've done is I've created an environment for those that are ready for their life to change, those that are ready to change their own lives. I've created an environment for those individuals to be able to win." had an opportunity to fly out to Philadelphia, where you and the other local leaders hosted the event recently, Mr. Bugs. And as you know, I spent some time, and he was talking about this upcoming event in Las Vegas. And I want to tell the OG family, we've seen some epic events. My life changed at an event. This time last year, my life changed at an event. I was able to go from sapphire to diamond within 60 days as a result of a major event. The impact it had on my decision-making process to go all in, the power of the event. But this event is going to be like no other event that we've ever had. The energy and the intention behind the training that is going to take place. You're going to hear some amazing stories from the new diamonds, and all of the excitement of those stories will be present. But there's going to be an enormous amount of focus at this particular event on the skill set of building this business. How do I invite people to a mixer and teach my team to invite them to a CJM to get the highest turnouts possible? How do I close out a CJM to actually collect applications? How do I actually fill my calendar and book a meeting from a meeting? What's that skill set look like? How do I do a three-way call the right way? How do I introduce my business project to a prospect? How do I attract leaders into my business? That's a skill set. That's an art form. How do I attract people of influence into my organization? And the how-tos of this business, the environment that you're going to be in at this Project 50K event is going to be an environment where, if you are serious about changing your life, if you're serious about ending 2015 differently than you're ending this year right now, the decision really isn't to be at Project 50K. The decision really is, are you serious about changing your life? That's the real decision. The decision is, are you serious about 2015 being a different year than any other year ever, and a different future from here forward than ever before? And if the answer is yes, I'm serious about transforming my current condition, then the decision to go to convention, to the Project 50K event, is not even a decision to make. You've already made the decision. If the decision is Organo Gold is a vehicle for me to change my life, and I'm serious about going diamond, then you have simultaneously made the decision to be at the Project 50K event. The only people that won't be at Project 50K are the people that have made the choice now to not change their life in 2015. We won't see those folks at this event. But when you make a decision to change your life in 2015, the simultaneous decision, you don't even have a choice to make. It's a byproduct of the choice to win in 2015. And that byproduct is, you will be at that event. If you're serious about changing your life in 2015, the absolute instant simultaneous decision is you will be at that Project 50K event. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys for jumping on, Mr. Roma, and all the leaders who jumped on the line. Hopefully, guys, you got it. Hopefully, you got the message that it's not even really a decision. It's just if you decided to be a part of Organo Gold, guys, you decided to make in 2015 a year of change for you, then it's not even a decision to make. It's already made. The question is, how many people will you have with you? And I want to also, guys, talk tonight about just really being intentional about your growth in the business. I think many times people, when you don't have any focus of where you're actually putting your energy to grow, you spend a lot of time wasting time in your business. And I want to talk about how to increase your net worth. Mr. Jared Wilkins talked about some of these athletes, and you think about basketball, and if the basketball is in your hands, it has a net worth. If the basketball is in someone else's hands, it has a different net worth. And the reality is, how do you increase? We all have the same vehicle. We all have the same opportunity. We all have the same compensation plan. So Organo Gold is the basketball. The question is, who are you? The only variable is you. And I want to talk about, guys, how, and it's not just about you being a bridge to an amazing system, you being a bridge to an amazing opportunity, you being a bridge to a very powerful story in Organo Gold, and using the systems that is very duplicatable, but there's some soft skills that you want to focus on growing as you're building your business. And here's the best way to grow your business, guys. The best way to grow your business, the best way to grow your skill set is through activity knowledge. By being very intentional about what is it you want to grow, the areas you want to grow in, but also making sure that you actually do the activity. So many times, guys, we try to read books and it's almost like trying to learn how to ride a bike by reading a book. It's almost like trying to climb a mountain, learn how to climb a mountain by reading a book on it. Yeah, you can learn the details, but you got to make sure you go out there and do the activity. And I tell you what, guys, the person who's going to get the most out of the major events are the ones who go all out massive action right now, that mess it up. Just go out there and just mess it up. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice, but we want to make sure when you get to the major event, guys, you'll be knowledge on fire. Knowledge on fire. You'll be very intentional. I always talk about there's people who join network marketing companies and they treat it like a lottery ticket. They jump from opportunity to opportunity because they don't necessarily know how they built it. They don't know how they built it, so they're always chasing the excitement. And excitement, eventually, at the end of that excitement, you're left with an opportunity. You're left with a vehicle. And unfortunately, people who are not business minded, they many times they're jumping from opportunity to opportunity. One of the most profound things Mr. Holton Buggs did, as far as an analogy of this opportunity, when you treat it like a business. He asked us to pull up on our computer. He actually pulled it up on the big screen. He looked at some of the major stocks out there, like Apple. If you look at Berkshire Hathaway by Warren Buffett, if you go ahead and look at their stock, you can actually do that. Tonight, just go ahead and pull up the stock ticker for these major firms, multi-billion-dollar firms. And if you look at the last, let's say, 6 months of their stock, you may see a downward spiral. You may see a flat line where you don't see any growth. If you look at it for about a year out, same thing. You look at it 2 years, you may see some dips down, and maybe at the lowest you've ever, right now, maybe the lowest point in that 2-year history of the company, maybe at a rock bottom. But then when you actually go the lifetime, you go 5 years plus on that same exact stock, you'll see how it has the ups and downs, the divots and the ups and downs and the ups and downs. But at the end of the day, it's at its all-time high. It's at, you see a up to the right graph that shows that 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, that stock was much less than what it is right now. But as the people who actually jump ship, as he talked about, people, they buy high and they sell low. They buy high and they sell low. They buy high on emotion, and they always jump ship when one thing hits them. And many times it's because they don't know how they got to where they got. I tell you what, guys, when you get to the major event and you start to understand what creates momentum, when you understand how to create momentum in your marketplace, and you understand that OrganoGold everywhere around the country is just fertile ground that we haven't even scratched of the surface. You have companies, guys, that put on 1 million new distributors just last year. OrganoGold is just reaching out over the lifetime of our business. We have companies that are doing $12 billion a year in sales. OrganoGold is $500 million in sales, and we're in coffee. I tell you what, guys, I believe this industry was created to move coffee. Just the other day, I had a defining moment about OrganoGold. It's just how powerful what it is that we do in the product, the genius of being the leaders in the coffee industry. I think about the companies that I've seen in the past. I think about the companies that I've been a part of. And there's always weird conversations, unfortunately, you have to have with people about the product because it's not something that people do day in and day out. It's unfortunately, it's not a product that people get excited about when you talk about it. I think about the people that I've met over the course of the years being a part of OrganoGold. I think about being on a plane at times and not even wanting to talk because I'm just preparing my mind. I'm tired. I want to get some rest and I want to, prepare to actually to serve a marketplace. And I'm not even trying to recruit or strike a conversation. And I'm knocked out, and all of a sudden, a person, strikes up a conversation. And I talk about coffee, and they almost force it out of me to talk about coffee, and that relationship has become something that matures whether they join OrganoGold or not. They just love this. I was able to open up a conversation, intrigue them to the point where they wanted to know more and they wanted to stay in contact. Other times you had to have verbal gymnastics to let people, for them to understand why you wanted their business card when they're not even interested in what you're doing. But I tell you what, guys, everyone I talk to about coffee, they're intrigued. Or tea, they even know someone, or they would love to get some samples sent in the mail of more. If they like the coffee, they would love to stay in touch with the coffee person. I always look at it and say, you know what, coffee is just a connecting product. I got to a point, guys, where I buy a case of product every month just to give away. just to give away to people I'm not even trying to recruit into Organo Gold, just a relationship management product that, you know, people who love the product, friends who are pastors and folks that I just want to, you know, stay in contact with, people that I consider kind of inner circle movers and shakers who just really appreciate the fact that I continue to give them something. They bless me with so much more from the relationship that we have. And I just, you know, I keep that, you know, that's just product I give away. I tell you what, guys, you know, if you sow the seed, you don't reap what you sow. You reap more than you sow. I just sow at least a case myself, just for relationship management. I don't even ask them to pay for the product. Now, is everyone there? No, not everyone's there. But I tell you what, guys, Organo Gold is that powerful. That powerful. I have financial planners and folks in a relationship business where they just want to maintain a relationship with people, and they give our product away as that relationship management tool. Okay, that relationship management tool. Well, they've had people actually, one of my financial service providers, he said, you know, I sent a letter with the coffee, and the client that never answered my calls, a big ticket client, gave me a call and said, hey, you know, can I get some more of that coffee? And he's like, well, what about the letter I sent you? He said, yeah, we'll talk about that, but I really need to get some of that coffee from you. And I tell you what, guys, again, because coffee is a phenomenal product, but once you actually have that, you have the simplest product in the industry. You have a product, guys, that moves people along, that gives you the opportunity to really build a solid business, not just a business that people are just joining your business because, or they're actually buying your product, or they're buying your service on a monthly basis because of an excuse to launder money amongst friends and the opportunity. Well, there's companies out there, guys, where, you know, you get paid on monthly service fees, you know, monthly website fees and things of that sort, and that's not a long-term residual income, because the person that then decides, you know what, I don't want to be a part of that business, they drop those services. But I tell you what, guys, people don't have an expiration date, and they don't retire from drinking coffee. So you have the opportunity, as Mr. Sam Bean would say, you have the opportunity to set up financial immortality. So you're in a position, guys, where you can build a very solid business if you treat it like a business. If you decide to raise your net worth to make sure that you bring to the opportunity the very best you, okay? And let me talk about some of those ingredients, those soft skills that you'll need to develop, those soft things you'll need to develop along the way. And I tell you what, Project 50K event, guys, the ultimate training experience, you'll find the ingredients. You'll actually get the details. As Mr. Jeremy Rimmel talked about, you're going to get this incredible training that's going to take your business to a whole different level. And Jeremy talked about one of the ingredients, which is a skill set, the technical skill set. He talked about some of those technical skill sets that's very, very important in our business. You look at the fact, you know, list building. Just how do you go out there and talk to more people? How do you build your list? How do you actually, you know, obviously cultivate, you actually write down the people that you know, but what about the people that you don't know? How do you actually continue to build your list, have an unlimited list? Many times people say, well, I ran out of people. No, you never run out of people, you just run out of courage. The reality is, guys, an Organo Gold giveaway coffee is the easiest way to build a list. You know, the easiest way to be a lead magnet, if you will, in the marketplace. But you want to know how to continue to go out there, sample people, do it properly to increase the odds of them answering the phone call when you give them a call. Okay, how to go out there and do different coffee tasting events, referral-based market where you're able to get your friends and family members to introduce you and bam from their living room to another person's living room. How can you continue to build your list and have unlimited prospects to talk to? Okay. Another skill is the approach, the contact, and inviting people. You know, so many people, because they're amateurs in this business, they damage good relationships as they're building their business. How do you build your business without damaging good relationships? In fact, how do you enhance your relationships along the way as you're building your business? How do you actually have a bigger network than you had before you joined Organo Gold versus being the NFL? So many people have, you know, NFL has no friends left because they're approaching people and contacting people inappropriately. Now, as you're getting started, those who are brand new in Organo Gold, guys, those who've been on a training call, you're learning that along the way. And it's you know, getting started, you just want to make sure that you leverage your contacts and credibility to get people in front of the information to see what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. Very, very simple. But you're going to take your skill set to a different level by being at Project 50K. How to approach, how to contact and invite people to information, to take a look at it and qualify them for the information. How to present the information. Another skill, guys, is presenting the information. You know, presenting the information and getting people to say yes. Okay, using the proper tools. Using the proper tools. You know, I tell you guys, the person who recruit the most people are the ones who are going to use third party. Going to use third party and do less talking. Allow it to be a 30-second commercial for the 30-minute movie. But how do you do that appropriately and leverage your business and grow your business rapidly? Okay. How about edification and promotion? Mr. Jeremy Roma didn't know anything much. He didn't know much about the business at all, but he understood the power of edification and promotion. Edifying, building someone up, building something up to the point that people are listening with their ears wide open to the information. Understand the value and the power and edification and promotion. Okay, we have people like Mr. Sam Bean. We call him like the Don King of promotion. He understands how to get people in front of the information. Yeah, I look at Jeremy Roma and some of the other leaders that are on the line here. They understand how to get people to major events. They understand how to get people on the phone with someone else. Okay, through edification and promotion. How do you do that? Systematically do that. How do you edify a brand new distributor? How do you edify a sapphire? How do you edify a ruby or above, a diamond? Okay, in your business, you'll learn that at these events. Okay, you'll learn that by being on the conference calls and the training that we have. So making a commitment to yourself, guys, that you will not miss any major events. You won't miss a conference call. You won't miss your weekly events, because you never know when you get that defining moment. How to do a 3-way call, one of the most underutilized tools in all of network marketing, the power of the 3-way call. Some of you may say, wow, you know, my business hasn't been hasn't grown as much as it has when I first got started. I mean, when I didn't know much, my business was growing a lot faster. That's because that's when you relied on 3-way calls. You relied on third party. As you start to become more intelligent, you start to learn more about your business, guys, and you start to try to talk more to people, you're now pushing people away. Because now they think they need a PhD in network marketing or a PhD in Ganoderma in order for them to build the business. But instead, when you understand the power of using third party, the power of leverage with a 3-way call, you'll start to see that momentum back in your business. So again, understand the value, also not just you, but your team learning from the top leaders in Organic Gold. What is the art of the start? How do you get people started? How do you launch someone into their business? Don't just start their business, but launch their business. Identifying people and where their influence level is, and helping to manage their expectations, but also making sure they don't limit their expectations. Sometimes people, they overestimate what they can do in a short term, but they underestimate what they can do in the long term. But then there's people, guys, that will join your team that can be just really take your business to a whole different level. The next 90 days can be epic for you when you find that right person and you launch them properly. What is the art of the start? I tell you what, the leadership guys in this business, they understand it. They're launching people and hitting levels of leadership in record time because they understand it. You can learn that at these events, on these calls. All right. How about what Mr. Roma talked about, Mr. Bug saying, creating a winning environment. The science of creating a winning environment. That's one thing, guys, I've had the fortune of being around in this industry and learning from some of the best and creating a very powerful environment. I tell you what, Mr. Holton Buggs has mastered that ability to create an environment for people to win. Create an ecosystem, if you will, for people to win in Organic Gold. And you want to learn how to do that on a micro level. You want to learn how to do that in your neighborhood. You want to learn how to do that in your local town, your local marketplace, creating an environment for people to win. So I tell you this, guys, many times the environment is going to be much stronger than most people's will. The environment. So the environment that you create, that you put them in, is going to create an environment for people to blossom, for sapphires and rubies and emeralds to take off to a whole different level. Understand the power of edification and understand the power of recognition. Understand the power of hitting those human needs that people need in order to create an environment for success. Camaraderie, loyalty, unity, edification. How do you create that environment for this big sucking sound to start happening in your marketplace of people who are joining your business at record speed, and you have the ability to learn that and make it happen in your respective marketplace? Those are some of the skills that you're going to learn at these events. There's some other soft skills, guys, that aren't as tangible. It's not the technical side of things. And here's one thing you'll understand in this business, guys. You'll learn that the technical things, the techniques and things of that sort is a very small fraction of your overall success. Because it's going to be your mindset. It's going to be some of those intangibles, invisible things that you're going to learn in this business Some of them be caught just by being in the environment. Okay, and some of those are things that you're going to learn just by being around incredible leadership that have gone from having success to having significance. Those who have moderate success to those who have quantum leap success. Because I tell you what, guys, you can be really, really good in this business and still get $5,000 to $10,000 a month. It takes a different level of leadership. The invisible things that you don't see is not the techniques, it's the invisible things that Mr. Jared Wilkins talked about, belief in the spirit you put into your business, and you catch that by being around some of the leadership to take it to the quantum levels of 50 to 100 grand a month and beyond just astronomical numbers that Mr. Holton Buggs had the audacity and confidence to even claim it when he got started with Organic Gold. He understood the power of belief. And what I admire most about Mr. Holton Buggs, when I sat down with him when he got started with Organic Gold, he was sharing his story, and he was at just an obscene type of income at that point, just 18 months in his business, and he spoke it from day one. He had the audacity to tell people he was going to do something in record time that no one in the history of this industry has ever done. He had the audacity to say it, but then on top of that said, watch me do it. Watch me do it, and actually did it, because he understood the power of not just the techniques and the skills, but he understood the power of the mind. He understood the power of the mind. He understood the power of focus and those other things. So some of those other ingredients, guys, is going to be part of your business. You want to make sure that you sharpen in 2015 is your discipline, which is your work ethic, and your focus. Very closely related. Work ethic and focus. I was just sharing the other day with someone about the fact that it doesn't take a lot of time to build a very strong business in Organic Gold. It's unfortunate that so many people come into this business and they're just busy being busy. They spend hours. It's not really about the hours you put in. It's what you put into those hours. And you're going to learn, guys, what to focus on. You can't manage time. People say time management. You can't manage time. Time is very well managed. 24 hours just go every day like clockwork. All you can do is do focus management. How do you focus that time? Where's your focus at? And I tell you what, in today's society, we're losing that ability to focus and multitasking. When you start focusing, you start to develop that ability to focus. And focus on one course until successful. To identify a new person and to carve out the time to help them to get qualified, dual team qualified, to help them, get acclimated and onboard them into your team and get them to a point where they actually get to that event that now takes them over the top, where they go from being more likely to quit to being more likely to stick and stay because they understand what you understand. And that's the major event, guys. When you get that person to the major event, they understand. They go from the business being in their head to their heart. I say, what, guys? So again, you want to make sure that you promote the major event because it helps people to get more focused, increases the discipline and work ethic that people have to make things happen. When you think about our system, guys, and how powerful it is and how it's just laid out, how the leadership, again, just laid it out and said, this is what you need to do to be successful. Talk about the 2020 plan. Talk about the 4 CJM system and how to duplicate that for your organization. 4 CJMs, guys, 4 coffee parties a week. That's your job. In Organic Gold, you can become financially free from doing 4 coffee and jazz mixes per week. And some people say, well, what's going on with my business? Why isn't my team working? Well, your team is doing what you're doing. Why isn't things duplicating? Well, maybe it is duplicating. If your team did what you did today, where would your business be? That's the question you ask yourself every day. If my team did what I did today, where would my business be today? Where would my business be? Okay. How many times today would the Organic Gold story been told on my behalf? I'll tell you what, guys, you got to set an example of extreme work ethic, especially in the beginning. I went above and beyond. We got started, guys, in Organic Gold. The reason why we hit Blue Diamond in 18 months, we went all out massive action. We didn't stop at 4 CJMs a week. We did above and beyond and we just made other people look at 4 CJMs a week as just simple, that's part time, because we set an example of extreme activity right up front. Okay, but if you're part time and you got to work at part time initially, and part time, guys, you'll be amazed that, full time is, many times it's part time in this industry because of the power of leverage when you do the things properly. But 4 CGMs a week, you can literally do them on a Saturday. You could be a weekend warrior, do a 12 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, and a 6 o'clock CGM. You can literally do that on the weekend, 4 CGMs, and start to duplicate that through your organization and set yourself up for Diamond Consultant. But the question is, how many times a day is the Organic Gold story being told on your behalf? And are you duplicating that through your organization? Are you focused on teaching other people to duplicate what you're doing as well? Okay, are you focused on the right activities? Are you focused on being a core distributor in Organic Gold? And then you have belief and faith. Close related, guys, belief and faith. You talk about faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You can have moments of, you can have these moments of belief, guys, but there's times when you're believing and it seems like believing is not working. You're believing, but it seems like believing is not working because you don't see the signs of it. That's where faith comes in, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The ability to have faith even when it seems like belief is not working, but you continue to increase your belief, you continue to speak it, you continue to visualize it, you continue to emotionalize it, you continue to see your goals, but there's no sign of it happening. And that's where most people, they let it go. They don't have the faith to keep belief. They don't have the faith to keep belief. It's kind of like you're pumping the well, and you're pumping for the water, you're pumping it, you just, you believe the water will come out, but you've been doing it for so long and you realize the water still hasn't come out, and then you just stop because you don't have the faith that the water is coming. You believed and it still did not come out. You don't realize that it was on its way. It may have been delayed, but it's not denied. And until you start to build that belief, you start to build that faith to have it even when you don't see it, okay, it is everything. And I tell you what, guys, it wasn't until I got to Organic Gold I started to understand that, truly understand that. Did I see the books? Did I read the books? Yeah, but that was all the fluff stuff. That was the fluff stuff. I wanted the technical stuff. Like, give me the techniques. If I can learn how to, the techniques, I'll have more belief and faith. But I tell you what, guys, the leadership here, Mr. Holton Buggs and Mr. David Meniche and Mr. Jose Ardon and Mr. John Sanctoris, and the leadership, the elite leadership, when they understand the power of belief and faith, and they've had just remarkable results. And the leaders that understand in this business, guys, and will be training on it, telling you, how to strengthen your belief. I never had anyone actually talk about how your belief works, how faith works, and how you can strengthen it. Techniques of how to strengthen it through your affirmations. And again, read this stuff, but I didn't see people who were living it. They were talking about it. They were pontificating about the idea, but they were not living it. And I tell you what, guys, you have people in Organic Gold who are living it, who are living examples of it. And they keep talking about it, I tell you, Mr. Holton Buggs himself, I talk about him just having the audacity to believe on a different level. And that's, one of the biggest things he talks about, his ability to believe. It's his ability to believe. How powerful is that? The ability to believe. The things that you read in scriptures and biblical things that many people go to church each and every week but never get it. They never get it. But I tell you what, in this business, guys, Organic Gold, it's amazing. Just the incredible leadership, the training, the growth that you have. I tell you what, it's not going to be the money. You're trying to realize in Organic Gold, in this industry, it's not going to be the money that's the most fulfilling for you. Those things will help get some things out the way. But I tell you what, it's who you become in the process. Mr. Jim Rohn talks about, he said, everyone should strive to be a millionaire. Not because of the money, but who you become in the process. And I believe, guys, is this industry, is this company, that you get the greatest return on your own personal development. I've been in business, guys, and I tell you what, a lot of times, you're spinning your wheels. You're spinning your wheels, and you're working in that business, but not on that business. You're not working on yourself. And I tell you what, network marketing, guys, it helps you to monetize your own personal development. That's what I love about it. That's why network marketing, guys, is just in this industry, and coffee and network marketing is a perfect combination. The leadership that you have a chance to be a part of, the people you have an opportunity to work side by side with, it's priceless. It's priceless. And And will you have other things, your things that you want to give back and labors of love that you want to actually create in your respective life and maybe your respective marketplace and how you want to give back in different ways. But I tell you what, guys, Organo Gold, this industry, this business will help you do everything better. I always tell people, I say, listen, you want to just become a better parent. You want to become a better business person. You want to become a better giver. You want to become a better, just in any area or industry you want to be a part of. You get better just by being in this environment. And that's one of the things that really drives me in this business, guys, is the fact that I know when people make it to major events, they make it to their first major event, I know their mind's expanded. I know they'll never go back to their mind will never go back to the original shape and form. I know they become a better person. Whether they make money in Organo Gold or not, whether they choose to go through the process and do what's necessary, I know that person, there was a seed that was planted. Until this day, guys, I have people. I started in network marketing when I was 18 years old. I didn't make money at all. I was 18 years old and I was in school at a university, at an Ivy League institution. And I tell you what, a friend of mine reminded me I was walking around campus with suits on, and that was the time when I actually learned how to start doing presentations. I was the person who would sit in the room, and I'd be willing to take a zero before I would get up in front of the room and talk because I was afraid of public speaking. I would actually get in front of the room and I would actually start to stutter and I would forget what I was going to say and I would just freeze because I was more of an introvert and I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel confident being in front of the room doing public speaking. It was network marketing that forced me to get out of my comfort zone. And I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision that I was willing to do it. And I tell you what, guys, it was the greatest breakthrough for me, one of the greatest breakthroughs. And I tell you what, it was the books that I read. In the first 2 years, I was 18 and 20 years old in this industry. And I talk about how people like Mr. Chris Oliver and some of the top leaders in this industry had major impact on me because I saw them from afar and I learned from them from afar. And it was my pathway into personal development, and I started to grow. And I thought it was, I didn't make any money, and I thought it didn't work. But the reality is, guys, it worked. It worked because it was working on me. Then I had another experience with another company, guys, and I started to learn some of the skills and learn how to create a good environment in this industry, but still didn't have that quantum leap type of success in this industry. It wasn't until I started to hang around the type of leadership that we have in this business. It wasn't until I really got to the point where I could become a specialist and not a general practitioner in this industry, and that's what Organo Gold offers. I know there's people, guys. There's so many people at the event we had in Philadelphia on just a couple weeks ago with Mr. Holton Bugs, and we had people from all different companies in this industry. I tell you guys, it was the easiest thing to get people from other companies to come to that event because I tell you what, guys, we have just an incredible leadership that people are talking about from around the world, around the industry. They're talking about the top leaders in Organo Gold, and you have the opportunity to have access to them. I wouldn't take that for granted. I would not take it for granted, guys, to have that opportunity to be in that environment in February. Guys, here's what's happening. You want to make sure that you go to...
Perfect. So we're not going to go on too further. Obviously, right there, they've been advertising Project 50,000, but what we're all working towards in the UK is obviously the arrival of Steve Martin, February 13th to 15th. So let's just make sure that's in our calendars. I know it's Valentine's weekend for you charmers on the call, but let's make that a priority, okay? And just to finish off, I just want to make sure now that we do look at the information that's just been stated there. I've got some notes in front of me now, and for me, what I took away from that call more than anything is you've just got to be intentional with your time. Okay, I hear it time and time again that people say they don't have the time, but the key is to schedule that time, and when you have that time, give it your all. Okay, and I've got here, I look back again to when I really got the momentum going, which a lot of you need and want and deserve. Then I gave it some focused time, and what I did was I cast a vision, and you'll see me mentioning Project 2000. And your project might not be that big, and it might be just Project 15 or Project 50. I don't know what yours is, but the key is to get that vision and cast that vision for whatever it is you want, okay? Whether it's money, more time freedom, whatever it is, I don't know. But just make sure, number one, you cast that vision, okay? Get on paper exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. And the second from the thing that I say there is make sure then you go and do it right. Okay, he said all the fluff stuff there, the stuff that's going to produce you the income, make sure that you're spending the majority of your time doing that. Okay, and for me, that is making sure you're aligned with the 4 steps, the meetings, the CGMs, retailing coffee, using the coffee retail script, sampling coffee. Go back to that, revert back to giving away free samples and following up and watch your business grow. I had a chat with Keith Brook probably a couple of weeks ago, and the fact of the matter is our business grew the quickest when we were doing the 4 steps and sampling the coffee. And make sure you're doing those actions, okay? Yes, there might be add-ons that people are doing, but make sure that you're aligned, you're working with the 4 steps. And the third point that I make in closing is don't make excuses, just make adjustments. And the key, again, when I look back, is you've got to look at yourself and you've got to take responsibility. It's one thing to talk about it, talk about your dreams, talk about what you're going to do. It's another thing to go and make it happen, okay? And you guys deserve better. We've got a great group, a great culture. And this from me now to you is a call of action to go out there and perform to what you can do and cast that vision. Do it right, okay? Stop half doing stuff. I'm not saying you have to put the hours in, but when you're doing the activity, just make sure we're putting that effort forward and setting the standard for the brand here in the UK. And because trust me, when you put in 120% to anything, you will get that back tenfold. And the only thing is again, there is the consistency aspect. So whatever you're committing to do, okay, get your calendar out, work through that calendar. This is one thing as well that I'll quickly add. There's going to be some very simple PDFs put on the group within the next couple of days. Me and Louise are working on that, and they are designed to simply get people started effectively, get people over the line, get people paid and promoted quickly, okay? And these are going to be some very simple tools. I'm going to make a getting started video for the Facebook group as well, but consistency, write that word down, because there's so much power in consistency. And the problem with most people, and myself included, when I started network marketing, was that I would start and I would stop. I would start and I would stop, and I never got any consistency. And from consistency, you will form habits and practice perfect habits. You want to have habits that are productive and positive. And for me, that is making sure I'm aligned with the 4 steps. So in closing, let's make sure we're using a calendar, okay? The monthly achiever calendar or some sort of system to track your time and track your numbers. But let's make sure that we know the success system. Coming up this week, we're starting our success system back on Monday night. There will be a launch call at 9 o'clock. So make sure you're on that. That's going to be basically a business overview. So people who have been simmering away, looking at the opportunity, there's going to be a call 9 p.m. on Monday. Obviously, people who are close to the West Yorkshire area, Big Al Schreider event on Tuesday night. But in closing, guys, let's make January big. Let's really give 120% to this month. This is the year of execution. This is the year to go make it happen. You deserve better. We will see you all at the top. It's easy, it's simple, it's coffee.